Hey, hey, hey. We're back.
We're back.
I gave it a nod, bro. I gave it a nod.
Sorry, I wasn't ready.
All right. Merry Christmas, everyone. I hope you enjoyed your lovely Christmas, this lockdown Christmas, which is absolutely crazy. So however you spent it, I hope it was good. But hopefully it doesn't stay like this.
And look, man, even if it does stay like this for a little while, tune into the podcast. You know, there's a good way to spend your time, and it's by listening to the Kaleidospoke podcast. So, you know, we're here for you. We're here for you. You know, if nobody else is, we're here. You know, and like, I'd like to say Merry Christmas too. And the next thing I'd like to say, this is to like all the Bitcoin hodlers over the years. Do you know what this is? Such an important thing. $23,000. That's what I'm gonna say. 23,000 big one. You know, going to Christmas after 2017, after you like spoke so highly about Bitcoin in 2017, and then 2018 came around, it was a bit quiet. You know, like those Christmas dinners got a bit edgy. You know, but here we are. We're back in 2020, saying what you gonna say now? What are you gonna say now?
That's it. Yeah, I think everyone's vindicated now. And next thing's Bitcoin 500k. That's what I'm saying. Prediction 2021.
500k for Bants. 500k is like first stop, and then you know what happens? It goes to $1 million, and then I go off and buy a Lambo, just like the good book said, just like the good book prophesized.
Oh my goodness, the good book. I haven't read that book. Is that limited edition?
I think so. Limited edition, one of one.
You wrote your own book, man. Yeah, you're an author of your own book. That's fine. We create our own prophecies. So anyway, welcome to episode 4, Kaleidospoke. Tell your friends. I hope you listen to the episode 1, 2, and 3. If not, please catch up. It's fine. Hit the subscribe button. And tell your friends. Because you know that's how the word spreads. It's been great so far. I don't know about you, Aaron, but hey, I mean, I'm loving it. It's cool.
Yeah, I'm having a great time, man. You know, we've had some good conversations so far. It's great to see our progress across the platforms. People starting to leave reviews. Getting good feedback from the few people that I've shown it to, and you know, it's looking good for 2021. The outlook is looking great. You know,
the future's bright. The future's orange.
I don't know if we can keep. I don't know if we can keep that because I think we'll get in trouble.
Copyrights.
You know, okay, so I'm gonna just say something. Another thing, apart from the Bitcoin thing, the reason why there's a lot of laughing going on, because you know, there's wine being thrown around, and last week I substituted the wine for coffee, but this week I thought, forget that, man. Like, I got the mulled wine going on. You know,
it's going down.
It's gone down. It's gone down. I got the
Tim
mulled wine.
It's going down.
Yeah. Drop the bombs.
Oh, baby, dropping bombs on him. Tim Westwood.
Right. So look, 5 minutes has gone past, and all we've done is chat shit. So come on, let's get on with it. Let's get on with it. Let's get on with it.
Okay. Cute. All right. So I guess let's talk about something that's happening right now. We are in the midst of the COVID vaccine rollout, right? I remember December 2019 like it was yesterday. Mm-hmm. It was only last year when all this was coming out. I was thinking, China again. It's always a bit some hocus pocus happening in China. Not say hocus pocus, but like the rhetoric in the Western media is like, okay, China. And then you had Trump saying China. I was thinking, okay, this is something that might stay in China. And then, you know, come February, shit got real, and it you know, you started talking about lockdown and all this kind of stuff. And then fast forward 9 more months, we got a vaccine. This is a groundbreaking vaccine because no vaccine's ever been made this quick, and with this type of efficacy. And of course, it was warranted because it was such a. I mean, the COVID-19 has been such a global thing that it's brought all these companies, all this money, all these governments into play to solve this problem that was affecting the world, and we'd never had something like this in recent times, at least. So we have a vaccine. You know, the FDA approved it in America, the UK approved it first, and from a few different pharmaceutical companies coming out. It's like it felt, you know, the way they've kind of rolled it out. Like I think it was AstraZeneca and Pfizer, which are like two of the big sort of drug pharmaceutical companies. And it's, the way they announce is like, oh, I've got one. Oh, I've got one too. And then there's another one that comes out, and it's like, oh, there's a plethora of them, and it's crazy. I mean, I don't. Some people are very skeptical, including myself, to say, okay, well, you know, the vaccine never been, you know, it's never been done before. It's never been done so soon, at least. And there's people out there like me that are saying, no, I'm not going to take it. I mean, I'm not first. I'm not going to be a guinea pig. Even though they've done trials and it's supposed to be 95% effective. I don't know. I don't know about all this, you know. So yeah, let's talk about it, bro. Let's talk about it. When are you gonna take the vaccine?
I mean, look, this is a good question about taking the vaccine, because it seems as if, you know, everybody's like, no, I'm not taking this wild vaccine until it gets to a point where you can't travel without this wild vaccine, or in the line of work that you're in, you might not be able to conduct your line of work and earn money to support yourself if you don't take the vaccine. So, you know, people change their tune pretty quick when they're put into a corner. So, you know, personally,
but who will put you into that corner?
I mean, your employer potentially, but your employer potentially, and they might be pressured by the government. It really depends on who you are. You know, already we've kind of heard that initially it gets rolled out to people that work in care homes and the patients in care homes and frontline NHS staff and vulnerable people. So it seems for kind of healthy people that aren't at like serious risk, you know, we're not in line to take it anytime soon anyway, you know. So we might, unfortunately or fortunately, get to see how it plays out with other individuals before it even gets to us, you know. So at that point you'll have a bit more data to decide whether or not you want to, you know, take the vaccine. I also think that, you know, for the people that are quite, you know, positive and bullish about the vaccine, I think there's something about their attitude that makes them believe that this vaccine is a way to go back to society pre-COVID, which is actually, in my opinion, I think that's probably an impossibility. Do you know what I mean? Like, people are going to be working from home now that businesses have understood that, you know, you can work from home. So like there's going to be some changes that are kind of, you know, semi-permanent. You know, these masks are sticking around. So I think the idea that by having this vaccine in society kind of, you know, puts us back at this kind of normalized pre-COVID condition. I think, you know, there's a flaw in that thinking, I think.
You think that there's a goodbye pre-COVID, good times?
Yes. I mean, there'll be new times, and not to say the new times won't be good. They could be, but you know, I think expecting this vaccine to kind of reverse time somehow, I think that's bold, man. I'm not sure about that.
It's crazy. I mean, I think. Go on.
What about you? I mean, you posed a question to me. I think I swerved it. But what about you? You taking the vaccine?
Nah. Nah. I'm gonna pass. No, I'm joking. I think this is the funny thing, right? I think I say no now, but as you know, my holiday got cancelled since we moved to tier 4, right? And that was, we were supposed to go on Boxing Day, booked it this week, and this is where I think everyone's going to be everyone's going to be forced to take it. So I might say no now, but the various restrictions that are going to apply to society, to people in various different situations, so whether it be, people in the workplace are not going to return to work or return to the office until a large amount of, or all people have been vaccinated. You know, people might not be able to fly freely until they're vaccinated. So all these things will come, and I think, the numbers will, at the moment, okay, you might, the vulnerable, or the first in line, or the front line will be in the first people to get the vaccine. But after that, and there might be a fast uptake, but after that, it might slow down. And when it starts to slow down, I can imagine the powers that be will start to put these various different policies in place that is going to make us take it. And as you say, by that time, we could have a better idea of whether it's effective or not, whether it's the side effects are, harmful, and we'll have a lot more data. So I'm not in a rush. If it starts to affect my life, I will take it, because there will be a bigger sample set than there is today on the control test that they're doing.
I mean, I think one of the reasons why we've now been kind of like moved into tier 4, which is a new tier that nobody knew about. What the fuck is tier 4, bro? I thought there was 3 tiers, and then somehow tier 4 just come out of nowhere
overnight.
Overnight, just making up things for bands. But I think one of the reasons behind this move to tier 4 was that there's this kind of new strain of COVID, and this new strain of COVID definitely, definitely strong. I think this new strain of COVID will bring into question how effective the vaccine is, because I guess the vaccine is tested on the original strain of COVID. So, I think there's a lot to see over the course of the next year. I mean, like you mentioned earlier, like vaccines don't take, 9 months, 6 months to make up. You need a ton of data, long-term data over the course of years in order to kind of be so positive about how effective this is, So, I mean, look, man, mutations are in the air. This is how all the zombie movies start, bro. You know how all the zombie movies start with a TV screen and like some news announcements about, oh yeah, there's this vaccine, blah 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 blah. This is like the first 10 seconds of the show, right? So it's almost insignificant, and then it just cuts to the point where everyone's a zombie, and you got the main character shooting and all that. We're currently on the TV screen of any zombie show.
Goddamn.
That's where we're at.
Oh my goodness. You can just imagine, like, one Sunday morning you're waking up and it's like, oh, I might just go to the shop to get some milk, and then everyone you walk past is like zombied out. You think, what's going on? What's going on here?
It'll probably be more like you wake up, you go out in the morning to get your milk or whatever, and in the background you hear like just some random shots out of nowhere. Like, what's going on? And then you notice there's no cars on the road, and you think, and then it all starts to kind of like, all the calculations and sums start to kind of go on in your mind. You're like, oh, what's going on? And you see one zombie run across you, thinking, oh shit, it's happening. It's happening.
Oh my, it'd be that and mixed with like the purge as well. It's like, okay, all the COVID carriers. We got 24 hours. God.
I just hope I'm immune. Like, I hope I'm immune. Oh, hey, look. Okay, think about this question then. All right, we got kids. Yeah. What if this vaccine is rolled out like amongst everybody? How would you feel about, like, your little one taking it?
Yeah, I mean, I would want to take it first, and I would very much avoid it as much as possible personally, because even the data and the statistics say that as the low age groups, the young people are not really that prone to getting it to the extent of, especially like getting it as well as like fatally getting it, right? Or there'd be fatal outcomes. So it'd be like a parent, or naturally as a parent, I would say I want to take it first before my child gets it, and then I think that's the rightful logical thing. I don't know. What about you?
I mean, I've had a discussion with my son's mom, and she's quite adamant that she doesn't want him to have it. I'm on board with that, to be fair. I don't see under what circumstance he would need to have it. And if it's a case of you can't go to school without this vaccine, we might have to look at other options then, because they're so young. And like you said, the data doesn't show that this age group is at serious risk anyway. It would seem as if maybe they have a better shot with just facing the COVID as opposed to getting this vaccine.
Yeah. Like, and maybe I just move to Sweden because it seems like they're on a different tip. It doesn't seem like they're forcing everyone to.
You know what?
They played it quite cool in the whole scheme of things.
You know what? If you're going to move to Sweden, just move to Greenland. Move to anywhere. Just duck out.
Just go.
Just leave.
Well, you can only do that if you're not in tier 4. If you're on tier 4, you can't leave.
You don't like this country? Get out.
Go back. No, joking. Oh man. But it's a crazy time, and I think we can only look back at this at some point, hopefully, and think, wow, and as I say, these vaccines, I think everyone's going to be forced to take them at some point. But the funny thing is that you have to take 2 of them, so there's 2 that needs to be administered, 1 each month or something like that. And I've heard that they only last a few months. And to the point of what you said, if there's this other mutation, COVID 19.2, that's out there, who's to say this vaccine probably is like it's backdated anyway? It's redundant, if that is the case. So that scares me, because this could be going on and on, and I just want to get my life back. God damn, give me my life back.
Sure. And I mean, look, and there's something to say that a lot of these pharmaceutical companies are gonna, have some financial benefit from bringing forth these vaccines. I mean, I've got some stats here. So you got the 3 big players. You got AstraZeneca, works with Oxford University. You got Pfizer, who were the first to come out, and you've also got Moderna. And currently, AstraZeneca, they are selling their vaccines at $4 a pop, right? That's the price on them.
It's cheap.
But that's AstraZeneca. Moderna, on the other hand, $37 a pop.
Gotcha.
So we're gonna have to see who wins in the race of kind of world distribution of the vaccine.
I feel
could see you could see like some of the bigger players. You've already seen kind of jumps in their stock prices as well.
Oh yeah, Moderna's up like 700% this year.
I mean, look, man,
facts.
It's facts. Don't check them. Facts.
You know where you heard it first.
Exclusive.
We don't do fake news on here. We don't do fake news.
Hey, but look, if you're really interested, go and check the Moderna stock price over the course of the year. It's been doing bits.
Yeah.
And especially after the announcement of the vaccine as well, like there was a bit of a spike. So you can see there's a huge business interest behind a global pandemic. So it's difficult to see if the motives for coming forward with a vaccine are pure, you know. So yeah, go watch it. You got, you know, everybody, you are the master of your own health at the very least. You know, like, you have to be responsible for yourself and make decisions that you're happy to go to bed with, basically.
I mean, imagine the people that take the placebo when they're doing all these experiments, because got it. You know, they're effectively just they're effectively taking paracetamol.
Oh,
and then
thinking that they're aiding towards some type of human development.
Yeah, and actually, that is a guinea pig, and that's how they, you know, that's how they do experiments. They're like, oh, look, you know, it's randomized. We'll give you one blue pill, you a blue pill. To tell me how you feel in a week. Tell me how you feel in a month. And one guy's got like paracetamol, the other hasn't. And this other, whoever's taking paracetamol they might contract it. And I don't think there's been any deaths in the what do you call it, in the test group, but yeah, it's just fugazi.
I mean, that's the other thing about this whole vaccine thing, which is making it difficult. But this is not simply, it's not simply just towards the vaccine. It's in life in general. But the thing that's really kind of making it difficult to decide whether or not, you know, you're going to be involved with this is social media, man. Social media is kind of, you know, throwing all sorts of information out there. I mean, I saw a video this week, and this woman supposedly took the vaccine. Some you know, frontline health worker took the vaccine and then faints. Do you know what I mean? Now, there's nothing to say that the vaccine made her faint. You know, she might be stage fright, God knows. Do you know what I mean? But you know how social media does. Social media can just like add a little caption to it. Before you know it, this has circled the world,
meme.
and it's a meme. It's gone mad. And then I've seen other ones where, you know, prominent politicians are taking the vaccine, and it looks as if the you know, the thing that you push in order to make the fluid go into the body, it's like that the injection isn't actually getting pushed, you know. So it's like, bro, like, social media is making this difficult as it is. Do you know what I mean? Like, so it's we're in a new world. That's what I'm saying. The idea that we're going back to like some type of normality, that's gone. Forget that now. You know, we're in a new world. We're in a new world.
It's true. And just to kind of put a disclaimer out there, this isn't medical advice. Please consult your doctor and physician and whoever, just, you know, on this basis. So yeah.
Yes, definitely.
But okay, so talking about social media and effects of it, let's switch it up and talk about a new kid on the block in terms of social media, called Clubhouse. This app called Clubhouse. Now, I don't know if you all know about Clubhouse, but basically it's like an audio version of, you could think of it as an audio version of Twitter or audio version of the old chat rooms that we used to have in the 1990s. And you know, it's blown up. It's you don't have that many users on there, but it's got all the cool kids on this app. And I just got an invite from a friend a couple of weeks ago, and I've been checking it out. And it's actually a cool place. It's actually something that I think has got a lot of legs, and the community is cultivating it. And even to the extent that, let me explain it. So there's different rooms you can join, invitation only at the moment, and everyone can create a room to talk about something. And it's audio. It's an audio kind of based social platform. And you have these moderators of the room. It could be one, it could be many. Everyone's muted unless, you know, you can say something, or you could be put on mute by the moderators. And it's good. It's cultivating this conversation. And even to some extent, there's one which was about COVID vaccine. So someone started a room and said, "Hey, I've just had a COVID vaccine. Ask me anything." And yeah, she was just talking about her experience. So yeah, this is a new wave. Like it's fascinating, and I think something that is probably many people will hear as time goes by. But I thought it'd just be good to kind of surface it because it's just like it's a new wave.
Yeah, I mean, kind of in theme with last week where we brought up OnlyFans. Yeah, this is just another hot topic, but this is amongst the true cool kids,
True
you
cool
know,
kids.
the true cool kids, because this is an invitation only app, you know. it's in beta testing, and that might be the reason why it's invitation at the moment. But you know, you've got a number of like celebrities from you got quite a few people from the hip hop culture, and they've got like quite a big draw. So, you know, I've seen on social media people like basically scouting for like a Clubhouse invitation. You know, it's like, please bring me in, please, someone give me a Clubhouse invitation. And you brought me in. So, you know, I
You're
had a
welcome.
look around. It's all right. I didn't thank you, but it's all right. No. But like you got so far, you got the likes of people like The Game, Joe Budden, Meek Mill. Meek Mill actually had a dispute with DJ Academics, who's
How was it?
another kind of yeah, he had a dispute, you
Okay.
know, and 21 Savage kind of mediated the dispute. So all of this is this kind of like this weird this conversation, not
Yeah.
weird, but this conversation all going on this app,
Yeah.
you know, where you got all these kind of like celebrities and you know the cool celebrities, not just any celebrities, the cool ones, you know. So yeah, man, it's looking as if it's like a kind of place to be. And you know, I think going forward, we might host a couple of discussions on
Oh
there.
yeah. Watch his space.
Yeah, man, it's I think it's coming. It's in the works, and I think actually Clubhouse will be one of the ones that end up getting rolled out kind of mainstream after some time, because, like you said, there's a real case for it. You know, it does make sense, and actually, currently, it's valued at $100 million. So
That's cheap.
you know, I mean, but you know, that's currently, and you know, in terms of like visibility, it has only been in the late part of this year that has kind of come around. So you know, $100 million at this point in time, you mentioned, is quite a low valuation, but you know, we'll see how this goes into kind of the first quarter of 2021, especially if like lockdowns are continuing around the world. You know, I think we're gonna see this one blow up a lot, you know.
Yeah, the momentum's crazy on this app, and I think definitely the lockdown has helped it a lot. But you know, the rooms that I've visited is it's been very productive because you've got a wide array of topics that you can dip into. You know, you got stuff if you want about find out about or talk about startups, if you want to talk about the like music, if you want to talk about if you want to learn a language, start a business, marketing. It's got all these different forums, and some fairly like the moderators are fairly knowledgeable, and it brings this other sort of wisdom of the crowd aspect to it as well, where other people can contribute to the conversation. And I was just listening to one today, and it was talking about, you know, it helps us practice our listening skills as well, especially rooms that are coordinated quite well, because you know, everyone needs to listen. It's like modern day radio. Like, instead of listening to LBC, which is like, for those who don't know, outside the UK, is like it's a radio station that everyone just calls up and has a rant, and there's normally like this controversial rhetoric on there, but it's just like this modern day natural user generated conversation, and it feels like an actual progression to Twitter, who I actually saw are doing their own thing to this as well. They've
Okay.
they've started something called Twitter Spaces, which is essentially like, I think whoever follows you or something like that, they put in beta testing, and you can create these spaces and have an audio conversation or something like that. So that's the other thing I would say, is that, you know, these bigger players with these existing sort of user base could eat their lunch, in terms of Clubhouse's lunch. But the fact is, and what you touched on, is all these cool kids are there, and you know, they're not they got Instagram, that's fine, but Instagram is like a whole like polished kind of showreel of them. But this is like you got these actual artists, these actual celebrities, actual like even VCs and other investment people and other sort of influencers in their space, just being raw and uncut and contributing to the community. So it feels really good. It's only got a few thousand users, I believe.
Yep.
And they're just working on it. They're refining their product, but it's exciting, man. I'm really quite captured by it.
Yeah, it looks like a good one, man. I mean, some of the subjects I've come across so far, how to improve your Yoruba, which is pretty cool. If you don't know, Yoruba is one of the main languages spoken in Nigeria.
Mm-hmm.
And funnily enough, in that room, you had a lot of kind of Nigerian, born to Nigerian parents, but potentially British or American citizens. And they're just trying to improve their mother tongue because they've just not really grown up in a household that speaks Yoruba. So it's quite interesting. Others include explanations on crypto. Good bloody luck on that. But so you've got a ton of just kind of niche topics, and you got a ton on relationships. I mean, I think I was in one room, and the question was, should you cook for your man if he's a serial cheater? I was like, what the hell? Who's gonna talk on this? It was going wild. It was wild. And actually, I can't remember, but I think somebody, I think Charlemagne the God was in it. So like you've got all these kind of like wild questions, but you can actually interact with those kind of cool kid celebrity guys and girls, which actually is the big draw. It's like you can be in a room with these guys and you can say I spoke to the game today because I was in the same room in Clubhouse. That's a huge draw. And the fact that at this point in time, it's invitation only, this is even kind of you kind of it's growing through this kind of exclusive nature.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool. I don't know if they're going to keep the exclusive nature, but as it stands, it's pretty cool. I'm glad I'm in it.
Yeah. It feels like you are literally part of a club, and as I say, it's all about cultivating community. I think it's excelled crazily because people are just in their houses now. These artists that we're talking about are not really on tour. They're just in the house, so they're showing their presence, and I think they find it fun as well. Just connecting with just people in general that they might not have a conversation with. And there's also kind of therapeutic thing to it as well. Like I say, there's a lot of self-help rooms that you can join, but also it kind of creates another bridge between countries, between cultures, between different types of people. And hearing a voice I feel like is more empathetic, more emotive than reading a 280 character tweet. And
Sure.
That's where Twitter's trying to go as well. But I think like they're just obviously trying to take what Clubhouse is bringing. But it's that's why I say it feels so natural, and it feels very like it excites people, because everyone that's on there is quite excited and quite enthusiastic about making it the best of what it can be. So yeah, it's something to look out for.
Sure, man. It's on the cards that Clubhouse will probably get bought by one of the big giants at some point anyway. It seems like a juicy buy. That's the kind of thing that they'd look out for. It's like, yeah, this has got legs. Let's just buy it for 10 billion trillion.
That's it. $10 billion trillion.
Because the likes of Facebook and Google, they could do it for bands. Do you know what I mean? So, but yeah, it's got all the makings of something that's going to be sticking around for a while, or at least be imitated. at least be imitated. So it's good. It's good. It's kind of it's got its foot in the door.
Yeah. Well, that would be something to look at for 2021. So if you guys are listening, try to get yourself on Clubhouse. It's definitely an interesting space to explore, and I think you watch out for similar kind of features like this to be going out there on these other apps. But you know what? I think another thing that this kind of brings is like the fact that people can be and create. These platforms just enable creators to excel, and to create their own space, like and similar to what we're doing, I guess. I think during the lockdown, there's probably been a great deal of people that have started a YouTube channel, started a podcast, started their blog, started something because you're indoors and there's nothing really to do much more, and people's curiosity would just say, hey, let me contribute. And it's so easy now to spin up a website, spin up and try to just try stuff. And I think that's something that it's definitely a wave. This kind of independent creator, similar to what we spoke about last week with OnlyFans. There's actually a way to monetize now. There's a way to make a bit of change on the side. It's not just it could be a hobby of a labor of love, but also you can get rewarded for it. And people are seeing that with regards to TikTok, and you've got TikTok influencers, or if it's gaming and you want to be on Twitch, there's all these avenues. And I think it's a great thing that the internet is enabling us to do, as millennials and probably younger. I mean, even the older guys, I think they missed the boat, but probably definitely our millennials and the Gen Zs. So yeah, I mean, I'm super hyped, super enthusiastic about the next, 5 years, and all these platforms are just giving us just endless amount of reach, and again, it goes to across borders, across cultures, across languages. What do you think?
I mean, look, you kind of brought it up I think it was last week, when you remembered when there used to be 4 channels, and then one day there was channel 5, and it was like, whoa, channel 5. But now it's almost like there's 7 billion channels, the potential for 7 billion and more, because we all can have our own channel, whether it be on YouTube, whether it be on on any kind of on Twitter or whatever. We can all kind of have our own channel where we showcase our talents. And I think Clubhouse is just another platform where it's allowing you to have yet another channel. I don't know. I'm not sure if that kind of devalues, because there's so many channels. I'm not sure if that devalues the it kind of devalues content, because if there's so much, how do you kind of figure out what's the best? And then beyond that, what if you got great content, but because you have to fight through 3 billion other people, that great content kind of never surfaces, which is the next challenge. The next challenge for anyone, including us, including anyone who's starting a thing, is how do you get it to the forefront of people's minds? Amongst this kind of saturated idea that everyone can have a channel and talk about whatever subject that they want. So yeah, so it's. But I like you. I'm excited, man. I'm excited. I think the people that are consistent, just like anything, the people that are consistent, the people that have good content, and the people that are slightly strategic about how they go about promoting their stuff, I think there's space for them. And I'm not sure if that space is limited, if I'm honest.
No.
So
I think the thing that I'll say to that is that with a lot of these platforms, it's like the top 2% that earn the bulk of the money in a way. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, so these creators, platforms there, you can speak to your heart's content, you could speak for ages, or publish or produce content, produce something. But it's only really a small sliver of the people on that platform that earn 90% of the potential revenue that can come from that comes from the platform. And I think that's the kind of problem. It's like a chasm, because you have all of these people that are creating content, which is great. Like you might find a YouTube video, and I've got loads of YouTube channels which I subscribe to, and they might have only 2,000 subscribers, but to me their quality is worth a lot. Like it's worth a lot. Do you know what I mean? Like, but they don't get rewarded to that extent. And that kind of goes back to the whole this OnlyFans piece, where people know that they might have a small crowd, a small amount of fans, like 1,000 fans. But to those fans, it's really valuable. It means a lot to them that they'll pay, or they're willing to give you some sort of like donation, some sort of like support to create more content. And but similar to, there's a couple of platforms. There's one called Patreon, and I think to that as well, only the top 2%, they own a bulk of really what they pay out to creators. So I think there's this one of those things that one of those problems that needs to be solved, where this middle class of creators essentially are rewarded, and there's sort of this upward mobility. There's not just like the 98% and the 2%. There's also a nice like middle class of creators. I think that's a problem that needs to be solved.
Sure. I mean, again, I would have no idea how to do that. I mean, what do you do? Could limit the success of those kind of 2%? I'm not sure. I think actually, if we assume it's a free market, right? If we assume that everything, all the algorithms are totally fair to everybody, I don't think it's a kind of 2%, 98% equation. I think regular people with the right strategy could occupy a space that brings them, kind of like a good recompense for what they do.
I think like there is a bit of an algorithm bias, right? Like the guys who are at the top of the tree will get they're more easily discovered. So therefore it kind of perpetuates in a way. So I don't know what the answer is. There's probably a couple of routes to get there, but it's like you somewhat need to randomize the discoverability a bit. You need to throw in a bit of Kaleidospoke in there just to kind of see if anyone takes it up. And I think Google does this in a way, but not to for their rankings, but not to it's kind of inconspicuous. You don't quite notice it, and I don't know if it's enough to try and distribute. But there are ways that you could try and distribute your discoverability to your other indie makers that could enable them to be discovered, and then get some fans, and then go up the rankings and earn a bit of a following. So
sure,
yeah,
man.
So
heart's content on that one, eh?
No, it's great. Like the time is exciting. I think this. I just think about my granddad and our sort of granddads, and what they've the technology evolution and progression that's happened since then and now, and what we will see. I'm a very much like 20-year out. It's 50-year. I'm just excited to see what's ahead.
100%.
Flying cars. I'm going to the moon. Buy a bit of land on Mars.
I mean, I'm planning as soon as that Neuralink comes out. Oh, give me upgraded maximum. I'm taking it.
All the CPU power. All the CPU.
I don't care if it blows the circuit. Just go. Put it all in there. I want all the bandwidth, all the knowledge now.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, Neo. It'd be Neo. To see one.
Could you imagine? Could you imagine, man?
Yeah, I think it's going to come. I'm optimistic.
I think it will come. It's questionable whether it will come in our lifetimes, but I think it will come.
Well, that's a number of years. I think things are being solved at a rate that I don't think not many people appreciate. Like and it's hard to appreciate because it doesn't necessarily come into the mainstream. But you know, I feel like now, like, time's getting shorter, right? Like back in the day, 10 years I felt was longer than the 10 years today, or 1 year. I would say 1 year. Maybe that's an age thing, because I guess as you get older, the years seem shorter, the weeks seem shorter, and you think, wow, where does time go? And that might be down to busyness. But technology, like, advances in 1 year is a lot greater now than it was, maybe for 10 years, 20 years ago.
Sure. The rate of advancement is crazy these days. You know, you look up, and this is how you can tell, you're aging, like, because you're looking down at something, and you're like, wow, this is really cool, and then you look up, and the next thing has come out, and you're like, whoa, like, when did that even come out? And some 18-year-old said this has been out for like 5 weeks.
Yeah,
it's old now. and you're like, what? What? But yeah, man, it's an exciting world. It's an exciting world, and you can always take two stances on technology. I mean, you could take more than two, but there's generally two stances. It's like, wow, this thing is really scary, and it impedes on our humanity, or this thing is really, really, really exciting, and it kind of displays some of the greatest thinkers that we have, and that I generally am in the second group. Like, I'm excited by technology. I'm excited how things kind of pan out and develop our species, even if it develops our species into non-existence. It's still exciting to me. I like the story. I like stories, bro. I like stories, and I like to see the stories. Yeah, I like to see the stories of something, beginning to end, origin to death. I like to see that.
Planet of the Apes kind of thing.
Yeah, that kind of thing. That kind of thing, man. That kind of thing.
But yeah, I think even to what you said about the two camps, and I think it's important to embrace, even if you thought you're out of it, like TikTok, I'm kind of out of that, but it's to embrace the different things that are coming up, because that will influence the next 5-10 years. And similar to blockchain and Bitcoin, even if you don't invest in it, it's probably here to stay for sure, whether or not that's Bitcoin or what have you. So just to understand what the significance of it is, and what people are saying about it, is important, because I think you'll find yourself in 10-20 years, it would be more of a mainstream, and more of an important part in our lives, that you'd kick yourself to say, oh, and by that time you might think, oh, this is all nonsense. I can't even begin to understand, because you just
lazy.
Yeah, you're lazy.
Because you're lazy. Because you're not listening to Kaleidospoke podcast, and you're not listening to David Goggins, as we keep mentioning. If you listen to this guy, he will let you know that everything that you are procrastinating on, you're a waste man or woman. Like, you are doing it to yourself. So, and you mentioned Bitcoin. Anytime you mention Bitcoin, my ears prick up. Whether there'll be a new Bitcoin, or something that replaces the use of Bitcoin. Hopefully it's Cardano, man like Charles.
You've been going on about Cardano for a while. I hope it comes true.
Oh mate, I'll be. When you're holding like millions of this stuff here, but it's not worth anything. And you're just like, look, I got bare this, don't have any fiat, but I got all of this.
I would say this is an investment advice, and be careful what you do.
Investments go up as well as down. All right, so look, let's get on to our last subject. We was on that second one for a little while. You know how we go. And it's about the importance of a creative outlet, which actually just ties in perfectly to what we were just talking about. And potentially how COVID has kind of seen this emergence of creators, people that are investing in their creativity, maybe because they've been laid off or because they're working from home, they now have the opportunity to get off the get out of the rat race and, you know, start exploring things that they know they're really good at. So, you know, like in this day and age, man, especially that now a lot of us are working from home, how important do you think it is to kind of have a creative outlet?
Yeah, I think it's important. I mean, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, what kind of creative outlets do you have?
Right. Wait. So are we talking about this podcast creative, or are we talking about just drawing on a piece of paper?
Anything that you deem as creative, what is it?
Um,
This I'd say this is one of them for sure. But you know, anything.
I mean, I'm a builder. I like to build things. So I stay creative. I stay on the hustle. The hustle, even if you're hustling, that's just being creative, because you got to think on the
Yeah.
spot. You know, whatever you're doing, whatever hustle it is, that is being creative. So, you know, whether it's making money or it's just like your love and your hobby in terms of like cultivating flowers and drawing, you know, pictures and art, or whatever it is. It's important to keep yourself intellectually curious, intellectually challenged, as much as you can in between time.
Yeah.
So for me, it doesn't matter what you do. It's just it's just challenging yourself and to rise to the occasion. Some people are not creative. Some people don't see themselves as creative as such.
Sure.
So, you know, but it's the challenge. What creativity or is a challenge that you bring that could make you creative. It could be coding.
Yeah.
It could be painting. Like, it doesn't.
Yeah.
You know, it's just an outlet which you just challenge yourself and you
Yeah.
enjoy.
Sure.
Yeah.
I think there's this. I think sometimes we get a rigid idea of what creativity or art is. You know, you hear the word art, and the minute you hear the word art, you kind of start thinking of pictures and paintings and, you know, potentially music. But creativity, in my opinion, spans everything. You know, like it's the kind of like bringing forth an idea and kind of making it some type of reality. You know, that's my definition of creativity. So, you know, even those people that you say that aren't, you know, naturally creative, they just might not be creative in the kind of, I don't know, widely accepted way of what creativity is. You know, I think we all have it in us, and I think it's important to nurture that. Aside from, I mean, not aside from. I was going to say aside from your business or aside from your you know, your means, but actually that's not true, because in being in business, that could be part of your creativity anyway. Do you know what I mean? Like, and I guess even thinking, I like to believe that I'm quite creative in my thinking. Do you know what I mean? And part of that is being a critical thinker. So I feel that a lot of my ideas, I back them, number one, mentally, and when I think about whatever I'm thinking about, it's like I kind of make it in a way that it becomes mine. Any idea kind of is.
That's fine.
It sounds wild. It sounds wild. It sounds wild, but it's like I put a stamp on it, like this is a Aaron idea. Do you know what I mean? Like this is that blue magic. I guarantee it. But no, there's a couple of things.
You're not one of those annoying people, right? They're like, someone will say something, and then you'll just repeat the same thing that someone said, and you say, yeah, but I think, and then actually you're just regurgitating what they've said, and then you're saying it's your idea, you're claiming it. Like, that's my idea. That's my idea.
Yeah, no, I'm not that guy. I'm the person who has the idea that people then replicate and say that's my idea.
Okay.
And I say, all right, go take it, bruv. I got bear. They come like water. It's nothing. It's nothing. But like earlier on this year, I had this great idea, another put the stamp on it idea. I was on a date with a lady, and I said, it'd be cool. All this lockdown was going on. There's limited options as to what you could do. I said, what would be cool? How about we get a couple of drinks, and how about we just color? So I bought her a coloring book. I bought myself a coloring book, and on the date we sat there for like 3 hours. We talked, but we sat there for 3 hours just coloring. And it was one of the most therapeutic things I've ever done in my life, in my adult life anyway. And some of the stuff. Look, I'll even show you, bro. I'm gonna show you.
Okay.
No one can see, but I'm showing you.
I see you.
Like some of the stuff that I came out with was pretty cool, man.
Wow, that's actually great.
Yeah, man. I told you, man. I told you. Like it was like
pencil or pen.
It's with pencil.
Okay, nice.
So, I sat there, and I guess now that as an adult, coloring, you see it in kind of a different detail. Do you know what I mean? It's like, and we'd been drinking, so the details were highlighted, let's say. But yeah, that kind of outlet felt really good. Do you know what I mean? It's like the way that I've colored that is, that's unique. Nobody else is gonna do it that way, And it was like, yeah, man, this kind of nurtured an area of my brain that was, it was very thankful for being used,
Yeah.
So
I think it's I think during this time as well, I hope that many people have tried to find a creative outlet just to kind of keep themselves sane in all this, because it's the monotony of life, day to day, working from home or whatever it is, or the news. It feels like you need something to kind of to just let your hair down or put your mind towards that you think is helpful for you mentally and just with bringing up your spirits and your morale. So I hope and I imagine that many people have turned to something, whatever it is. You could be creative in gaming, writing, drawing, whatever it is, even if it's board games. There's just something that just lets your hair down. And maybe there's many more to come. For example, Etsy, there's a mad amount of people that made these COVID masks. And Etsy went crazy, sold so many masks. And people just like indoors and stitching these masks together and being creative with their skills or their new skills, existing skills and new skills. And there's, as I say, there's many outlets now. There's many Zoom classes that you can join where you're making cocktails or you're making sushi or something like that. So I advise, I think there's a lot out there. I think I advise anyone to just check it out and try to put yourself out there digitally, because it's probably the easiest way now, as a lot of us are from home and connected to the internet and wired in. But it's super important. Keep yourself sane, keep yourself motivated, and even in your old age, right? If you carry stuff on your intellectual curiosity to your old age, it helps, because it keeps you challenged and mentally. So yeah,
definitely. I mean, on the topic of creative outlets, I might embarrass you though, mate. I'm just giving you a warning.
no need. Cut.
Shots fired. I'm joking.
Let me just put you on mute. Wait, hold on.
So, I don't know if you remember. It was like many decades ago. And you used to have long hair, and
B2K days.
Yeah, the B2K days. When if you got the long hair and the velour tracksuit, then somehow the girls seem to like you. I don't know. Anyway, you were working in the studio, and you was producing. You was behind the buttons, and back then it was like the first emergence of grime. it was, so I would have been about, what, 16? I don't know. You'd have been like
17.
28 or something.
Clown.
Hanging around with kids.
Clown. 17, bro.
But yeah, and I remember that's like the first instance in which I met you. I met you through somebody, and so back then I was DJing. I still got my records. My records, they are not going anywhere. They are that is a big part of my life. Anyway, the other day, I managed to procure a speaker, and I've got iDJ on my iPad, and I think I started just I was making a mix, because sometimes I make mixes. Whenever I feel a certain way, usually it's about women. Whenever I feel a certain way, I decide to make a mix.
Mr. Romantic. That's okay.
Yeah, something like that. And just kind of record for my own pleasure and like listening back. So I made this mix, and then I had this epiphany. I was like, how about you just turn the camera on, turn on Instagram, and just mix grime, because grime is what you love anyway. Just do it. I didn't even have the tunes lined up. Nothing. It was just, how about you just mix? Just see. Just mix it. This isn't for anybody else but you. Just turn it on, see what happens. And bro, the kind of feeling it gave me, man, I was like, shit, man. I know I love this. I know I love this, because, like, you just got what's coming in the headphones, and it hasn't come out yet. And then when you drop it, it's just like, whoa, and you're in. I'm in the room by myself. I'm just shocking out all by myself. I'm like, this is sick. and I even had the idea to, like, on Christmas, I'm probably gonna do that again. Like,
why not?
Probably just funky house and grind for like 2 hours. Just run it. Just turn the Instagram on and just see what happens, and just have a great time with my family and just run tunes.
Yeah, do it on Clubhouse. Don't do it on Clubhouse.
On Clubhouse, probably Clubhouse. Yeah, whatever it might be, But again, like, reminding myself of that kind of, not necessarily childhood, but adolescent point in my life where there was time for creativity and creative outlets. Reminding myself that actually this is a foundational part of who you are. Do you know what I mean? Like, don't ever forget this. And when you get the time, just do it. Remember who you are. Don't forget it. It's a great feeling.
And I think that's so true. And I think times like that, again, it takes you back to perhaps your youth, where life wasn't so busy. You could just enjoy yourself and sit down and just and not worry about tomorrow or the bills or whatever. And I think it's important to try to get to that place whenever or however you can, but as often as possible. In whatever aspects you can do it. And I remember the times when I was producing music day on day, late nights. You might have a late class the next day in college or uni, but it doesn't matter, because you're so engrossed into this like tune or this beat, and you're creating like an 8-bar, then a 16-bar and a 32-bar, and you put it all together. And it's great. I think moments like that, what you just spoke to, you probably feel like maybe you should have been a DJ. I don't know. Like, what do you think?
I mean, look, man, that'd be like the typical Caribbean path, innit? Like, rather than yeah, like rather than going to school and studying medicine, like some of the other groups in this country, I would just decide to drop out and be a DJ.
It can work out.
It's kind of Jamaican for you, isn't it?
Saying all DJs are Jamaican. That's not true. That's not true.
All these DJs are Jamaican. They're all Jamaican.
No, we do set trends. But
no, I'm joking.
But yeah, no, I think yeah. I mean, I think it's a good element, and you got it inside you. So I think maybe one day, maybe for your 40th next year, We should have. You should just do a DJ, like a big DJ set, like a big party. You're DJ, and you're just creating a vibe. Actually, wasn't that one of your things? Wasn't that one of your?
Yeah, that's one of one of my life goals to one day, obviously, I have to achieve quite a few goals in order to make it happen. And this is one of my big, massive life goals. Some people have got this goal, to get married and have some kids and then, have this flourishing business and all that. Well, that's all good, yeah. But me, one sick party. Just one sick. When I mean sick, I mean so sick. Everyone can come. Anyone, enemies, friends, past girlfriends, new girlfriends, everything. Kids, whoever. Bring the kids. Bring everyone.
Oh, wow.
It's going to be such a good time. I'll DJ, not the whole time, but it would just in my life, it would make me think, man, remember that party? I had that sick party, and I imagine probably at a milestone age like 40. Gives me, kind of 7 years to make sure everything is in place to host such a party. Yeah, it would be really, I think it'd be really cool for everyone who comes, it would be great.
So everyone, who's listening to this, you're probably invited. So watch out for the invite.
100%. Yeah, you got to stick around. And you got to buy all the stuff from the sponsors.
All the merch.
I love the way that we plug that in every podcast, even though we don't have any sponsors.
If you are sponsored, you're looking to sponsor it, don't you? All right.
Please contact our agent.
Billy. Is it Billy? Billy, our agent? Billy?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, we should call him up. See who's been calling.
Don't worry, he's
got any voicemails.
He's gonna call us any one of these days, bro. Don't worry, it's coming.
Oh, we love Billy. Okay, all right, cool. So I think here we are. We're hitting the hour point. It's been a great conversation, bro, as always. We've covered some great topics about COVID vaccine, why we're so cool because we're in Clubhouse, and why it's so important to have a creative outlet, whatever that is. So I think it's been great. I appreciate your time, and I hope all the listeners, you got something from this. We appreciate you. Merry Christmas again. Hope you had a great Christmas, and we'll be back in the new year. Actually, we got some surprises for the new year, so please look out for that one. And don't forget to hit subscribe, tell your friends about us, and yeah, thank you for listening.